Kareem, my friend, welcome on. How we doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yes, sir. Question one, number one for you. How much money did you make last month?
Last month I did 36K.
That's with how many clients?
One full stack client and then another one where I'm just sales managing pretty much.
Awesome. All right. With that out of the way, where were you like 6 months ago? What was life like then?
6 months ago I was a closer and I was part-time managing the offer as well. Um, yeah, it was a little bit different than because like especially like now having like that crazy month. And that was by the way like 36K like pretty much like profit. I was like, oh, I didn't have to like pay my sales team or anything like that.
Yeah. How long were you closing?
I was I so I joined Closer Cartel in like January 2023. And then I got on an offer within like 30 days. I was a setter for like 3 months or so and then moved up to a closer. So I don't know, like a year and a half or so.
And was that the same offer that you were on up until the last few months?
No, I was on, not gonna lie, when I was a closer, I wasn't on like the best offers. Like I started off on a decent offer and then bounced around. Back then, I feel like it was harder to find a good offer when you were a closer. I feel like now it's like so easy to find a good offer.
Yeah.
So like I was struggling finding decent offers. I was on like an ecom offer, I was on a B2B offer, and then on another ecom offer. But yeah,
Got it. What was your best month in sales?
best month was 10K. I was always like 10K or close to like 7, 8K.
Got it. So you were just in sales, like making 7 to 10K a month for a little over a year. And then did you just kind of start to feel burnt out just being on the phone all day? And you're like, all right, there's got to be a higher leverage here. Like what got you looking to transition?
Yeah, pretty much because like naturally the type of person I am, before I even became like a closer or got into sales, the main reason I joined was to like work on my communication skills and everything and just to be more confident just speaking to people. So it's kind of I look at everything as a challenge. I was like, all right, I'm gonna treat this like a challenge. I'm gonna get into sales so I can improve my communication. I was never the type of person that talked a lot. I was just like chilling to myself and that's why I got into sales and then I feel like the type of person I got tired of it pretty quick because like imagine you're talking to back-to-back calls for like 8 hours. I know some people do like 12 hours, and me knowing myself, like if I wanted to make more as a closer, I could have definitely got on a way better, tr like kept trying to find a way better offer, and like, but I knew I would have to take like 12 calls a day Monday through Sunday, and the type of person I am, I know I couldn't do that. Like you could do that and reach 30K with a close, 30K per month as a closer, but I knew that's like, that's
Yeah.
not me. Yeah.
Right. You have to be one, so good at sales, and two, just like obsessed with the craft. And I'm similar in that sense where like I mean calls are draining, bro. Especially sales calls and like repeating the same thing over and over and hearing the same objections, having to objection handle, and then like you get on your next call and you do it all over again. And then you waste half an hour talking to an unqualified prospect, and it's just a pain. And I do think, like, I love sales. I think it's a great way to get started online and a good way to make some money in the beginning. But as you saw, like, it can cap out, and there's just different routes that you can then take to build more leverage. So I guess you reached that in what? You joined Artisan Lab in June. It was June 13th, which is roughly 4 months ago from now. Is that kind of just what you were thinking when you joined AL? You were like, okay, I got this skill set of sales now. I know there's more leverage here. I know the person who's managing this offer that I'm closing on made more money doing this last month, more money than me without being on the phone last month. Is that kind of what got you to start to transition over?
Yeah, it just made sense. I feel like as a closer, that's like the next like logical step that makes the most sense if you want to make more money in the info space, unless you want to sell your own offer. And like sell what like becoming a closer where like everybody does that. It's pretty like saturated. So I feel like yeah, you can either go do like sales and marketing like what we do and or sell your own info or go into like e-commerce or something, like completely something different. And for me, it was kind of like I'm already managing this offer, so I'm kind of already doing it. And I did some stuff for the offer for free, like operation stuff and organic marketing and all that stuff. So I was already kind of doing it, so it made sense. Like, why not just go all in? And then like saw your student interviews, they're crushing them. Like I could do that. So I was like, here we are.
Are you still working with that same client for the management or
Yeah, I'm still with the offer. That's the one I'm sales managing.
got it? So you had one big one last month that was the majority of the 36K that you closed. You said what, like a month after you joined AL?
Yeah, pretty much.
Was that from outreach or how'd you get that one?
Yeah, just Instagram outreach, sending messages. And I wasn't even doing like crazy volume, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe like one day on a weekend, I would do like 50, and then those would be like a good day. I would get some responses.
Yeah. Okay, for somebody watching this right now who's like, yo, fuck this Kareem kid. I've been doing outreach for 2 months and I can't get a reply, but you just did it on the weekends and got a five-figure a month client. What'd you do differently, or why do you think it worked for you?
I think because I had some experience as a closer doing outreach. Like I remember being in the trenches as a closer. I think I joined one call and I was like bringing that up to you. I was like, it feels like I'm in the trenches again, like outreaching.
Yeah.
Mm. So first few weeks, it did feel like that. I feel like, man, I'm probably never gonna land a client. But then I just kept going, and then randomly on a Saturday, somebody responded to me, and
Hmm.
but I guess the strategy was for me, or like how it happened. I think the main thing I would say is the initial message. You have to have like a good opener, like something that's gonna make them want to click it. Because I feel like sometimes most people scroll through their DMs. It just has to be something like they click on open and want to respond to it. I think that's like the biggest secret or whatever.
Yeah. And what do you think made them an ideal client for you, being able to get really good results and make multi five figures just what, a month or 2 months after you sign them from your rev share?
Yeah. Well, you said what like what
Like
I
what?
saw would like this has potential to be like ideal.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. I think honestly when I was outreaching, like they weren't on my like 100 like list or I have to work with this person. It was kind of random. I didn't expect to because this client, once I got on a call with them and I found out more about the offer, they were doing 30K a month already. So that's a good thing right there. So like to answer your question, ideal client, I think someone that's already selling info, um is already making content organically. So when I saw that they're making 30K per month on average on their own. The offer owner was taking the calls. They don't have setters and closers. Me just bringing in setters and closers will easily double that number. So I guess when looking for clients, one, making sure their account has good engagement. It's not just about like millions of followers. This person has less than 100K followers, and making sure they're posting organic or content consistently, and then they're selling some type of info.
Got it. What were the first few levers that you pulled once you signed this client? I guess even going into like how you pitched them and how you structured it to make sense to them, like what did you kind of lay out that they weren't doing that you would come in and do? And then what did that look like once you started to execute those things?
Yeah, I would say the main thing I focused on for this client was really sales, and that's like my experience. Like this person didn't have a full-time setter at all. They just had like a part-time DM setter. So I was like immediately first thing I would need is a full-time setter that can outbound dial, not just like in the DMs, and a full-time closer. I think with just a full-time setter and a full-time closer, you can easily get to 100K months just using Instagram organically. But that was like the first like simplest thing I could do is just get a really good sales team. And then from there, dialing in like the organic content. I guess one lever was like the price increase strategy with the package that she already had. It was 4K. We bumped it up to 6K. And so we did like an Instagram story sequence.
Did you
We
guys
are,
win during that?
what'd you say?
You guys ripped during the price increase?
Yeah, that helped a little bit. I think what really helped the most was just doubling down on um like she had a YouTube channel, she had Instagram, like all the organic like the following she already had, we just took advantage of that. I think her YouTube long form content really helped as well. But like maybe I'm a little bit biased towards like having a really good sales team. I feel like if this client didn't have a good sales team, none of that would have worked, honestly, because you can get good leads on the calendar, but if you don't have a good sales team to close them, they're, I don't know, I don't think you're gonna hit the numbers that we did.
Right. Yeah, I think every info business kind of is either like more marketing dependent or more sales dependent. Like if you're in your position coming from a sales background and you know that side really well, you just putting a lot of your energy and attention into that side of the equation compared to like trying to make the best funnels and the best VSL and all the new strategies on the marketing side that doesn't go as far than like really just leaning into what you already know really well.
Yeah, like and so me being in the sales space, I know it's very common for setters and closers to just hop offer to offer. Like some people stay on offer for a week or two and just bounce to the next one. You get lucky if they stay around for 3 months. I've been able to like keep sales reps around for over a year, which is like not heard of really. Like that doesn't happen often in the info space. So
Yeah.
I feel like you build a good culture there. You can be good.
Yeah. What have you done outside of just like building the sales team and getting all of the systems on that side good to go? What else has gone into scaling this offer from 30K when you first started working with them to now whatever they're at? And obviously, if you're able to make multi five figures from your rev share, I imagine they're at least above 100, if not a couple hundred. So what's gone into the growth there?
Um, I helped her with I'm helping her with content, so not like fully scripting everything for her because I don't want to become like a content agency, but just from experience being in the info space for like 2, 3 years, I can give them advice. Like I know what works and like what doesn't, and being on like bad offers, good offers. So I feel like that helped as well, like get consistent leads coming in organically. Like for example, something that I call this like an Instagram funnel or whatever, where doing a lot of CTAs and reels and stories, and then once they, comment the keyword, VSL link gets sent to them to ManyChat, so they'll either get self-set or outbound set from a phone setter, or the DM setter will go in. So I would say like on the marketing side, it was a lot of organic, and just going harder on what she was already doing.
Got it. As far as you picking up skills outside of sales, like you came into this already being as a closer, you knew a good bit about sales management. What else did you really have to learn to like now have a rev share on the entirety of a business and feel competent on the marketing side and copy and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I never never built a funnel before, so like I had to like learn that VSL like scripting stuff. Never done that before, so that's like new stuff I had to pick up on. Oh, that's a good question actually, 'cause I just remembered I also like had to learn how to do like automations and everything. Do all the zaps, um, setting up the whole CRM. Like I've never like set up a full CRM before, so I had to learn that. Um, what else? I think those were like the main things I had to learn. And all this is also important, just knowing how to like deal with the clients as well. This is funny because like I almost gave up on this client because like it started off pretty bad. I remember I was in the chat. I don't know if you remember. I was like, I'm dealing with this client. They're kind of like hard to deal with right now. And like I was going through it at that time, honestly. Like I was thinking about like I was like, I don't know about this AI thing. Um this whole operation, sales and marketing thing. I was like, so it's kind of getting hard. I almost gave up on it, which is funny because if I did, like, we wouldn't even be here.
Yeah,
Um,
that is crazy to think about.
yeah, like I remember t telling myself that I was like, literally September 1st, I almost gave up on this whole thing, and it just shows like if you don't give up, it pays off. Um, but let me see. Yeah, I would say that's another important thing you have to learn, like just knowing how to deal with clients. Pretty much like what was happening is they were trying to like micromanage it a little bit, and I had to kind of like step in, like, hey, this is what we have to do, right? This is why I'm here, so you can take a step back and like focus on like content, coaching, and everything. So that's like another thing I had to learn.
Yeah. And they're probably grateful that you ended up doing that, obviously, because you
Yeah.
5x their business in the last 2 months. So, yeah. Well, awesome. I guess eh, for you, going from just being a closer, basically making $0 as a operator just 4 months ago to now hitting over 35K in a month. What do you think like were the main traits that you have or the main things that just allowed you to have success as quickly as you have?
Mm, I would say, I mean, since I was like kind of in the info space, I think that definitely helps because I can understand how some of the things work. And like when I was on a B2B offer, it was literally selling like VSLs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again, just to make sure?
Yeah, just like what made it work for you? What made you kind of be an outlier in a sense of like most people don't get to past 30K a month, 4 months within starting something new. Why it work?
Um, one, I feel like when it gets hard, like how it did for me, people do give up right there. I'm pretty sure you've had people in the program. Not everyone like people when it gets hard, they kind of get lazy. So I think that like me not giving up, because I've failed before with other business models. Like if this was my first ever business model and that happened, I would have probably gave up. But like since it wasn't my first business model and I've experienced like stuff getting hard, I was able to push through that. So I think that's what set me apart. Um, and honestly, it's not like super complicated to do something like this. You just have to be able to be disciplined to sit down in front of the computer like every day and just put in the work that's gonna just push the needle forward. And I think that's what I did really well. Like when I joined, I was able to stay focused, not get distracted, and just put in the work. And I know that's like so simple, but that's literally all it is.
Right? Yeah, like the best answers and like the truest answers are often the ones that are too simple to the point where you overlook them because you're looking for something special. But like oftentimes the real way to get what you want is actually do the thing that you know you have to do that's in front of you that you're avoiding. Um, what would you say to somebody who's in sales right now and they're like making decent money, but they feel capped and they're kind of looking at the operator slash marketer model, like this role? What would you tell them? Like if they're hesitating getting off the phone and they're making good money that's supporting their lifestyle, but they want to potentially transition to being the marketer or operator.
Um, if they've been a closer for a decent amount of time, I think it will make sense for them. Like this is like the next step if you want to hit 50, 100K months. But a big mistake I think closers make is they try to do it too soon. Like they just became a closer 4 months ago, and then they try to do all of this. I mean you can, but I feel like that's why it worked out for me. I didn't do it like super quick. I learned a lot of stuff just naturally being on offers, closing and everything. I think that's another thing like set me apart. It made it easier for me to get the results that I got. But I feel like as a closer, if you try to do it too soon, I don't think it's smart. But like if you've been closing for like a year or so at least, and you're making over 10K, um, I think you should just go for it. But just don't do it too soon.
Yeah. And would you say the learning curve was steeper than you anticipated, or was it easier to learn the rest of it than you anticipated?
I think it's easier, especially if you're a closer and you've been in the space. You
Yeah,
kind of know how some of the stuff works. Like you'll just figure it out, honestly. That's
right.
another thing. Like another advice I would give is just Don't try to overthink it and like, oh no, I need to know how to do this. I need to be really good at this, and then I'll feel comfortable pitching someone. Like, don't overthink it. Just you'll learn as you're doing it.
Yeah. Do you remember how long it took you from the time you joined Artisan Lab to the time where you were doing outreach consistently? And then after you started outreach, how long it took you to get this client that paid you multi five figures last month?
How long? I remember I was outreaching for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks I landed like immediately. Like that weekend I landed that person. So I was doing outreach for 2 weeks. Um, so I want to say like when I first joined, I spent 2 weeks learning,
Yeah.
and I started because I did want to like still like get the basics down and everything. I don't want to just like straight go into outreach. I know some people do that, but just knowing myself, I had to learn at least a little bit, make sure I got everything down. And then I started doing outreach, and within 2 weeks, I landed a client.
So from joining Artisan Lab mid-June to starting outreach, call it early July,
Yeah,
then having a client mid-July, and then you made that client really good money by September, 2 months later, and were able to cash in a fat rev share.
yeah,
Look at that. That's a cool trajectory. I
yeah.
wish I could just duplicate this every time.
Some people watching this might know Kishan, but I remember I was in Miami and I was having a conversation with him. Um, I was literally asking him for advice. I was like, I'm thinking about going all in on this and like get away from closing. Like, what should I do? I'm thinking about doing it. And he was the last person I spoke to in person about it. Nobody else knew. And then I saw him like last week in person again in Austin. And I told him, I pulled him to the side. I was like, remember like 3 months ago I had that conversation with you? And this is how much I made this month. And yeah, he was like, good stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know, it did happen kind of quick, like literally it was like 3 months.
yeah, that's awesome, bro. And it's just the beginning. You're gonna keep scaling. So I'm excited to see it, dog. Uh, Last question for you. This one's my selfish question. What would you say the main thing you've gotten out of Artisan Lab is?
For sure the outreach, there's a lot of outreach sauce in there, so that will help you a lot. And honestly, like content and like the material that's in there, like all that to the side, you just simply investing in yourself is gonna help you. Like me investing in myself, like I put pressure on myself. Like, okay, I invested this much, I'm gonna make it work. I literally wrote it down. It's like I'm invested this much, this is how much I'm gonna make because of this investment, and I did it. So I would say you just investing that alone will get you results. Um, and then like I said, the outreach sauce in there is crazy. And then whenever you have a question, like someone is always there to answer you. There's a lot of coaching calls in the program, so the help is there. You just have to put in the work.
And you've done it. Look
Yeah,
what happened. I love it, bro. Well, thank you so much. You're the man.
for sure. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, go to the description and join Artisan Lab if you want to be rich. Goodbye.